Hello everyone. How's everybody? All right. So far we have learned a lot about convolutional neural networks. We have learned that convnets are the best neural networks for computer vision tasks, and we have seen that on a small data set that we kind of made using cat and dog. Your overfitting will be the main issue for you, and where you're gonna use a data augmentation more regularly. And yes, so data augmentation is the a very powerful way to fight overfitting on the image data sets. We have also learned that we can actually import already trained neural networks for our classification problems, such as like VZ16 that we have imported and tried to solve that cat versus dog problem, and we kind of saw pretty good results with that. And we also saw that you can actually increase the accuracy by fine tuning this neural network. As I have already told you that your pre-trained network, it kind of learns stuff, like it first of all it learns like more general patterns. Like initial layers learn more general patterns, and as soon as your neural network moves towards more finer details, you kind of reach to the end of the convolutional layers, and that is where your fine tuning actually happens. And that you can actually say that your final layers learn more specific patterns about the data set that you are training it on. We also did fine tuning with data augmentation, and we kind of got pretty good results. I think I did give you a DHA for that, and you kind of produced a pretty good results. Okay, so what's the problem for today's class? So today we are going to visualize what convolutional neural networks are actually trying to learn. So far we have kind of treated CNNs as a black box. That means we kind of push something in and something on the other side gets out. So this is a black box kind of approach, but we actually want to avoid that. We want to actually see how it is trying to learn what we are kind of pushing inside it. Okay, so today we are actually going to kind of visualize the intermediate activation. That means what these neural networks are actually trying to learn in between the layers. Okay, so yes. Okay, so suppose we have a neural network. I'm going to actually show it using these rectangular boxes. Okay, so these are actually the layers in between. Okay, so these are a couple of layers of convolutional neural network, and suppose that we have kind of 100 by 100 image, comma 3 for 3 channels, and we are going to push it in. And this first layer has say 32 filters. This one has 32 filters. This one has max pooling. Okay, let's call it max pool, or let's call it MP for max pooling. And then this has 64 layers, and then say we kind of flatten the output over here. Okay, so as soon as you push this data in, this will be converted to 98, 98, and 32. And then after this one you will get 96, 96, 32. And then after this layer, as you can guess, we kind of will get 4, 8, 4, 8, 32. Okay, so max pooling kind of half the pixel. And then finally you will get over here 46. Okay, so it is 46 actually. 46, 46, and 64. And after this you will kind of do a flattening. Okay, As you can see that the this 100 by 100 by 3 image is being transformed to this 98,98,32 pixels, and then it has been transformed to this, and then this, and then finally this. So what today we are going to do is we are going to see what this actually means and what it is actually visualizing. All right, so for that purpose we are gonna import a pretty important module from Keras, and this is models. So we are gonna do from Keras import models, and then we are gonna visualize what this ConvNet is actually trying to learn. Okay, so let me actually take you to the Jupyter notebook. So over here you can actually see that I have written a lot of code already. So this is to save the time. Okay, so I have already imported this data set, and now we have to actually go to this place. Let's go to this place, and that will make the job much easier. Let's do ls. That should show us. Yes, so we are over here. All right, so now let us import these modules. All right, so TensorFlow is for, yes, you already know why TensorFlow I have imported. We have NumPy for converting image to the arrays. We have image from pre-processing Keras for kind of using directory iterator and image data generator. We have this models which we are going to use for the data visualization in between the layers, how the neural network is actually learning stuff, right? So you don't have to focus on this one. I have done a separate part for it, so let us just comment this out. But first of all, let us import these modules, and these, let's comment this out. Okay, so I had to actually first build a neural network, and as you can see over here, I'm actually trying to use 200 by 200 comma 3 pixel size. So after this layer, your image will be converted to this, and then you can actually see how your image is going to transform. So the regular pattern that you're going to see with all the convolutional neural network is this, that the number of filters is actually increasing as you go deep into the convolutional neural network, right? And the number of pixels or the width and height of the image will kind of decrease as you go down to the uh, CNN. All right, so let us just build this model. Okay, so it is gonna take some time, and you can actually do this model.summary for actually identifying what is actually happening. All right, so you don't have to focus on this one, you should focus on this one. Now, yes, so for actually visualizing everything, how a neural network is learning, we'll have to actually train it first. So after training it, then we'll pass a image which the neural network was not trained on, and then it will kind of transform that image into its important parts. All right, and that will help us actually try to identify how the neural network is learning new stuff. All right, so yes, so now let's try to give it this train, and then it will learn this, and then let's go give it test for test data generator. Okay, so now let's run this one. Okay, so as you can see that it found 4,000 images belong to different classes, and 800 test images for two different classes. You don't have to actually use test, I just wanted to actually just put it there so that you know that it is actually required when you train the neural network. We are not going to train it on test data. Okay, so let's do model.fit, and it is gonna take a couple of minutes. So I'll actually pause this video as of now, and when the training is done, I'll actually try to show you everything, how this neural network is learning stuff. Okay, so training is done now, and as you can see that I have got 85% accuracy on training data, and the loss is 0.322. Right, and this should be your regular practice. You should actually try to plot your training and testing losses. We don't have testing loss or testing accuracy for this example, but this should be the regular practice. You should try to plot them so that you know that there is no overfitting as such. And if you see any overfitting, then you should try to address that by kind of modifying your data or including data augmentation or other techniques to reduce that. All right, so we don't need to do this one. Okay, so you don't need to do this one. All right. So now let us come over here, and as you can see over here that we have this cat photo. So I'm gonna import this cat photo over here, and then if I do match show, you will see this beautiful cat. And what we are going to do now is, okay, so now you have to actually understand what this code actually means. I can actually show you or explain this part of the code, but I'm not going to do that because this is a pretty simple one. We are just trying to show what the image data has, right? So this is nothing more than that. So we have to actually understand from here. So this will be new stuff for you from here to here, and this is gonna be this is what we are going to do with it. So this is going to be pretty important thing. So yes, now let us just try to understand what is actually happening over here. Okay, so let us just try to understand what this code actually means. So say you have a neural network, CNN to be specific. So I'm gonna make these. Okay, so I could have actually used rectangle. So these are your convolutional layers, right? Say you had a convolutional neural network, which is kind of this one. Okay, and finally your data comes out, right? So in this part of the code, what we are actually doing is, this is your complete model, all right? And this is a single layer. This one is a single layer. So is this, so is this, and this, and this. Okay, so in this part of the code, what we are actually trying to do is, we are taking the model and then finding the layers that it has. So this model has around 12 layers, 12 convolutional layers. So what we are actually doing is, we are taking all those layers, and I'm actually uh, slicing it up to 8. So we will only have 8 layers, and then what I'm doing is a layer dot output. So the output of this layer should be kind of put in this list that you are actually seeing over here. So this is actually a list comprehension that we have already learned in your second semester. Okay. So this is a list comprehension, and this is doing nothing but taking all these layers, disassembling them from the main model, and then putting those layers in this list, and this list is this output list. All right, so we have just named it output. Okay, and then let's come over here. So what this is doing is we are using the module that we kind of imported from uh, Keras, and then we are doing models.model. So model is another class, and this is another class, and then it has some parameters that we are filling over here. So inputs equals model.input, so the models input that we actually have over here. So input is 200 by 200 by 3, so this is your input over here. Okay, and then we have outputs. So output is what this output is the list that we have prepared. So the disassembled layers are your output. So we are actually kind of going to generate these outputs over here, the output of each layer over here. And then what we are going to do is we are going to uh, kind of find out the activations by predicting the output of this image. All right, so we are gonna put this image in the predict method of activation. So activation is what? The activation is a model object, and it is gonna predict the activations generated on each layer. All right, and we are gonna store it in activations. All right, so activations is another list. Please understand, activations is another list. So if you do activations 0 dot shape, then you will get this shape, which is the output of the first layer, this layer. All right, and as again as you go like 1 2 3 4 5, you will get the output of subsequent or coming layers. All right, so this is going from left to right. I hope you got the idea what we are actually doing over here. So now what will happen is we can actually do something like, let me actually show you what we can actually do. We can actually show using mat show what these activations are actually doing over here. All right, so let us just try to understand what is actually happening over here. So I'll have to actually run this code. Let's run this one, run this one, run this one. And then if you kind of try to print what's inside this, you will kind of get this strange output, which you will not understand as of now because it is a lot of data. Right, so what we are actually going to do is we are actually going to print one by one. So how do I so yes, so now if you do a 0, you will get this one, and if you do 0 dot shape, you will get, what is that? Yes, you will get 1. So the output is 1, that means it is one sample only, right? So had you kind of passed a lot of data from here, like you could have passed 2 images or 10 images, so this will actually change. Say if you had 10 images, you will kind of rearrange this data into 10, but since we just have one image, so we are gonna just go with this one sample only, right? So now if you go to first layer, then you should get 196, 196 and 32. So if you go to the model summary, right, so I just wanted to make it clear, like there is a lot of symmetry going on. So first layer's output is this one, second layer's output is this one, and if you compare them, then you will find that these are the exact numbers. So we are actually dealing with the outputs of these singular layers, right? So individual layers we are actually seeing over here. All right, so yes, so now let me actually show you what this third layer is. We have this output. Now what we can actually do is we can actually print what these layers are actually doing over here, or kind of trying to show us. All right, so for this purpose, since this is a tensor in which we have four dimensions, so what we are actually doing going to do is, see, this is actually showing your image data, right? And this last number is the number of filters. So let me actually put the point across first of all. So yes, yep. So we have data in this format, 196, 96, 64. All right, so let's go with, okay, so this is sample number. This is your it could be width or height. I am actually confused with that, so it must be width. So this is height, this is filter. Okay, filters. So what I'm actually doing over here is I'm taking this image data. I'm only concerned with this image data, and the filter it is on. All right, so I have put I, and I'm taking first 20 filters. Okay, so over here you can see these are first 20 filters, first 20 filters. Okay, so when you apply this loop for I in range 20, plt dot figure, it is just figure, and by writing this code, what will happen is you will kind of get all the figures separately, not overlapping each other. This is what you would want to achieve. All right, so with this colon and colon over here, so colon over here, colon over here, that would mean we want to print all this height and width data. And then finally we'll have I means we are trying to print all the filters, like up to 20th filter. And then I'm putting 0 over here because we just have one sample. Okay, one sample and 0th layer. Okay, 0th layer means first layer, the initial layer. All right, so let me actually put it aside and let us try to run this code. Oops, don't need this. Okay, so yes, so we are gonna kind of see the output of the first layer. First of all, let's run this code. Okay, so now as you can see over here, yep, so this is what these images actually learned. Sorry, this convolutional neural network actually learned. So in this you cannot actually identify anything important like that it has actually learned, but over here you will kind of start to see that it is kind of doing some edge detection. All right, so there is some edge detection over here for the nose and for the eyes and for the ears. And then coming over here you will see that this filter was not excited, like the pattern that it was searching for was not in the image. That is why this filter was not excited, and we are actually seeing a empty filter. So this is what you're gonna get when you move more inside the neural network. You will see that more and more filters are not being excited. That means the pattern is not there in the neural network, sorry, not in the image. Okay, so this is again a pretty good uh, object detection that you can actually see over here, that the object is being identified, the cat face is being identified, and then this filter is again not excited. We don't see anything important over here, but you will see that there is some greenish tint over the eyes, so it may be possible that it is kind of identifying those objects. So nothing over here and nothing important over here. Again, this filter was not excited, so this seems a pretty good edge detection, as I can see over here. This is for nose, eyes, and for the ears. Okay, and yes, nothing over here, nothing. So this filter was not excited. This student excited. And okay, so yes, so you can actually see that yes, so this is another important thing, that it is kind of identifying the eyes, only the eyes. You can see some greenish effect on the eyes that kind of identify that oval shape or a circular shape over there. Yes, so this seems a pretty good edge detection. So again, object detection or edge detection, whatever you say, so it is a kind of doing the same stuff again and again. And then you, if you move on the higher filters, higher number of filters, then you will see that there are again other important patterns that you will actually see. Okay, so now let us go to the first layer, that means the second layer, and let's see what it is gonna show us. Okay, so this is again the object detection and the edge detection, as you can see. And again, this filter was not excited for this image data. Yes, so now over here you can see that we can pretty see that this cat is kind of having edge detection, and its eyes are kind of getting more of the greenish tint. Okay, so I hope you actually remember that PCA and NMF that we have learned in machine learning class. So in machine learning with PCA and NMF, if you kind of plot them, you will kind of get these representations of the same image. Okay, so it is pretty clear that convolutional neural networks are doing nothing but that PCA or NMF stuff. Okay, so as you go down in the filters or the layers, you will kind of start to see that the patterns are not that perceivable. Okay, so over here now you can see that you cannot actually identify what is actually going on over here. You cannot actually identify what is actually going on over here, because yes, so we have kind of reduced the size of the image, and you will see more of these filters which are not excited. So now let us come to this seventh layer, and let's see what will happen if we kind of try to plot it. Yes, so again, uh, not a lot of things can be seen over here because we have reduced the image height and width. Yep. Okay, so I hope you kind of got the idea how you can visualize what your convolutional neural networks are actually learning, and you can actually utilize them to improve your uh, classification quality, or for getting a better understanding of what these neural networks are learning. So you will kind of see that as you go down to the layers, like for eighth layer, we are not seeing much of an important pattern. This is how your human brain actually perceives the information of the world. So if I ask you to draw a photo of bicycle or drawing of bicycle, you will not be able to actually draw it exactly. And this is what your convolutional neural network is doing. So this it actually doesn't remember every important pattern, like every pattern that is found in the image, but it kind of learns the higher dimensional patterns. Like if there is a cat, it will learn that it has two ears, it might have two eyes, it might have one nose, and it might remember the shape of it. In similar fashion, you will remember that a bicycle has two wheels, it has a steering, it has one seat, and something like that. So these convolutional neural networks are pretty close to how humans perceive this world with their eyes. All right. So yes, so this was all for today's class, and I hope you kind of learned a lot from this class, because this is how your convolutional neural networks are learning stuff in between those layers. And those convolutional neural networks are not black boxes as we have seen so far, right? So we are going to do more and more of these video recordings, only because I'm not in Agra and I cannot stream from the place that I'm right now, because we don't have that much good cellular connectivity. So with this class we have also covered second unit, and your second unit is done. So now we will move on for the third unit, which is to understand how we can actually apply these neural networks on text data. And we'll actually learn how you can learn your you can train your neural network on text data. By encoding them, we are going to see how you can tokenize your text data in coming classes, right? So thank you for watching this video, and have a good day.